All right, let's get into it. Today we're doing a deep dive into something that's been a bit of a hot topic in the AFL for a while now. That's the rookie list. It's supposed to be this pathway for players to get into the AFL, develop their skills, and, maybe even become stars. But there's been a lot of debate lately about whether it's really working as intended. To help us break it all down, we've got our expert here. So let's go back to the basics for a sec. The rookie list, the idea behind it was good, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was designed to give a chance to players who might not have been picked up in the national draft. Maybe they had a late start in footy or they just needed a bit more time to develop.
Right, like a bit of a second chance. And we've seen some amazing success stories.
Yeah.
Like, remember Dean Brogan? He was a basketball, right?
Yeah.
And then he ends up on Port Adelaide's rookie list, works his way up, and boom, premiership player.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's the perfect example of the rookie list doing what it's supposed to, finding hidden talent, giving guys a chance to reach their full potential.
Right. But then you've got someone like Kane Corns. He's been pretty vocal about his concerns with the rookie list, and he's been saying this for years.
He has.
So what is he so worried about?
Well, one of the big things he's been pointing out is this trend of veteran players being delisted. But then they just end up back on the rookie list anyway?
Wait, so they're delisted and then re-rookied?
Exactly.
Why would clubs do that? I mean, doesn't that defeat the purpose of the rookie list?
Well, that's what Kane Corns has been arguing.
Like, take Jared Polek back in 2021. He got delisted by North Melbourne, even though he still had years left on his contract. But everyone knew he'd be back on the rookie list. Corny's called it a salary cap road.
Yeah, and that's a big part of it. So a rookie list has a different salary cap rules compared to the main list. So by re-rooking a veteran player, clubs can keep them on a lower salary. But they still get to have that player's experience on the team.
So it's like a loophole.
In a way, yes.
And Cornis hasn't been shy about calling this out. He's been saying this for years.
He
even called the whole rookie list a farce. And he keeps bringing up more and more examples.
He does.
Like in 2023, there was Sam Reid being delisted by Sydney, then Jake Melksham by Melbourne, and they both ended up back on the rookie list.
That's right.
And then this year, in 2024, Collingwood did the same thing with Oleg Markov and Ash Johnson.
Yeah, it seems like every year there are more examples that support his argument.
So it's not just a one-off thing. This is a pattern.
It is.
And that's what makes Corna's point so interesting.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Is this really about developing young talent anymore? Or has it become something else entirely?
Yeah. It makes you wonder, what's the real purpose of the rookie list now?
It's a good question. And it's one we need to think about carefully.
Right. Because if the rookie list isn't doing what it's supposed to, what does that mean for the future of the AFL?
That's a big question.
We'll definitely be exploring that more in the next part of our deep dive, so make sure to stay tuned for that. But for now, let's take a quick break. We'll be back in just a few minutes.
Yeah, it really does make you think, doesn't it? What's the impact on the young players coming up through the ranks?
Yeah, because if these rookie spots are being taken up by veteran players, then where does that leave the next generation? Like the guys who are actually supposed to be benefiting from that development pathway.
Exactly. And that's actually another one of Kane Corns' arguments. He pointed out that in the 2023 draft, only about 50 players were drafted.
50? Wow.
Yeah, it's a pretty low number.
Is he saying clubs are just not drafting young players anymore?
It's definitely something he's concerned about. Are clubs so focused on winning now that they're not willing to invest in the future?
So they might be missing out on the next Dustin Martin or the next Nat Fife because they don't want to take a chance on a rookie.
It's a possibility, and it could have huge implications for the entire league. The AFL needs fresh talent, new styles of play, the excitement that young players bring.
I mean, think about it. Some of the most memorable moments in AFL history, they often involve a young player who comes out of nowhere and changes the game.
Exactly. And if those pathways are being narrowed, then are we potentially stifling the future of the game?
Makes you wonder about the culture within clubs too, doesn't it? Are they so obsessed with immediate success that they're forgetting about the importance of developing young talent and building a team for the future?
Oh, that's a really good point. The pressure to win is intense, and sometimes it feels like that overshadows everything else.
Like they're so focused on the now that they're missing the bigger picture.
Yeah, and you have to feel for the young players in this situation. Imagine dedicating your life to footy, training your heart out, dreaming of playing in the AFL, and then you see your pathway potentially blocked because clubs are hesitant to take a gamble on young players.
That's got to be tough.
It is.
And brings us right back to the rookie list. This system that was designed to be a solution to give those overlooked players a chance.
A chance to prove themselves, develop their skills, maybe even earn a spot on the main list.
Yeah, but if it's being used to hold on to veteran players, does it even serve that purpose anymore?
I think that's the core question here. Is the rookie list doing what it was intended to do? And if not, what needs to change?
Okay, so we've got this system, the rookie list, and it seems like it might need a bit of a tune-up. What are some of the things people are talking about to fix it?
Well, one idea that's been floating around is having an age limit for the rookie list.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so basically you'd be saying, look, if you're over a certain age, you're not eligible for the rookie list anymore.
So that way, those spots are really reserved for the younger players.
Exactly, it would make it much clearer. The rookie list is for development for the young guys, not just another way for clubs to hang on to their veterans.
Makes sense. Anything else people are suggesting?
Well, there's also been talk about limiting how many times a player can be re-rookied.
So no more going back and forth between the main list and the rookie list.
Yeah, that's the idea. It would force clubs to be more strategic with their list management, and it would create more opportunities for young players to get a chance.
But wouldn't that mean some veterans might miss out? Like, what if they still have something to offer, even if they're not at their peak anymore?
That's true, and it's important to think about that side of things too. Maybe there could be some exceptions, like if a veteran is a really strong leader or if they're mentoring the younger players.
Right, so it's not just about shutting out veterans completely.
No, not at all. It's about finding the right balance.
Yeah, making sure the rookie list does what it's supposed to do, but also recognizing that experience can be valuable too.
Exactly.
So, apart from these rule changes, are there other ways to encourage clubs to actually focus on developing young players? Like make it more appealing for them to invest in the future.
Hmm, that's a really good question. There are definitely some interesting ideas out there. Some people have talked about changing the draft system, maybe giving clubs some extra benefits for drafting and developing young talent.
Like rewarding them for taking a chance on the younger guys?
Yeah, something like that.
That's pretty cool.
Or maybe providing more financial support for youth academies and development programs.
So it's not just about limiting veterans, it's about actively supporting the next generation.
Exactly. It's about making a real commitment to the future of the game.
Wow, it's amazing to think about how these decisions could impact the AFL years down the track.
It is.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground today. We talked about the original purpose of the rookie list, the concerns that have been raised about how it's being used, and some potential solutions for the future. It's a complex issue with no easy answers, but it's a conversation that needs to happen. So we want to hear from you. What do you think about the rookie list? How would you fix it? Head over to our social media and let us know your thoughts. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. We'll see you next time.